When the author of the Declaration of Independence contacts you through the portal and requests a conversation about the Declaration of Independence on the 4th of July, you kind of got to say yes. Take it away. Thomas Jefferson.
Just under 250 years ago, we held these truths to be self-evident. That all men are created equal. That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, we instituted a system of government that would derive their just powers from the consent of the governed.
So step one in declaring independence is consider what you stand for. Step two then is to challenge your leaders about what they stand for, as well as yourself. Let's give that a try. Did you really believe all men were created equal? And why didn't you include women, President Jefferson?
You must understand, in the context of our time, the word men conveyed owners of property in the 13 colonies. Slaves, natives, and women were not allowed to own property. According to the 10th commandment, women and slaves were actually property. Native peoples were expected to give up their cultures, religions, and lifeways in order to conform to the ways of the new country we were creating. We had to leave these exclusions for future generations to deal with. Our task was to get all 13 colonies to unite behind our declaration against an unjust king.
I see. So step three then is to understand what you just said to us, the perspective of others. Let me try that. In order to get the Declaration adopted by all 13 colonies, there were, to quote you, matters of style requiring you to swim with the current, but in matters of principle, you and future generations were expected to stand like a rock.
Exactly. And since you already paraphrased my definition of the political process, let me quote my rival Alexander Hamilton. The sacred rights of mankind are not to be rummaged from among old parchments or musty records. They are written as with a sunbeam. In the whole volume of human nature, by the hand of the divinity itself, and can never be erased or obscured by mere mortal power.
Mere mortal power cannot erase our unalienable rights. I like that. Step 4, you call for questioning the rules until you are satisfied. So let's give that one a shot. How does the majority overcome this mortal power that you are speaking of?
Oh, bear in mind this sacred principle, that though the will of the majority is in all cases to prevail, that will to be rightful must be reasonable. That the minority still possess their equal rights, which equal laws must protect, and to violate would be oppression.
So if the majority is not right and reasonable, it's not doing its job. It's not protecting the minorities that it needs to protect. You're going to have to elaborate a little bit more on this about participating in your governance. Our electoral process is controlled by a minority power.
It is unnatural for a majority to rule. For a majority can seldom be organized and united for specific action, but a minority can. We purposely did not establish government by the majority. What we have is government by the majority who participate.
So without majority participation, there cannot be majority rule. Ooh, this is making you mad. We need to recognize tyranny and reject it. I'm going to let you elaborate on that one.
Within our declaration, the representatives of the 13 British colonies created an indictment against the tyrannical rule of King George. I have selected a sample of the charges we brought against him for your review. For quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them from punishment, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. Based upon what has become the once United States of America, I am not sure our current citizenry understands. There is but one force in a nation that can be depended upon to keep the government pure and the governors honest, and that is the people themselves. They alone, if well informed, are capable of preventing the corruption of power and of restoring the nation to its rightful course if it should go astray. My worthy opponent, Alexander Hamilton, just came by with a most appropriate closing phrase for all citizens of this planet. Those who stand for nothing fall for anything.
Oh, that portal required a lot of energy. Thank you, President Jefferson. Here's our checklist, folks. Consider what you stand for. Challenge your leaders and yourself. Understand the perspective of others. Question the rules until you are satisfied. Participate in your governance. And recognize tyranny. Boy, we better. Recognize tyranny and reject it. On this, the 4th of July, I ask you to take some steps. Pick and choose. Do them all. And we'll be just fine.
Those who stand for nothing will fall for anything.